On back here from Pat here. Today we're going to be setting up the Sunjoe mulcher. I just bought this. I had a massive Mexican sunflower bush or tree that became just huge. Just cut that down, and I just cut down a cotton candy tree in the front of my house that was completely dry. Two very different kinds of wood. The cotton candy tree is a really dry hardwood, and the Mexican sunflower is a little bit like a softer wood. So I'm really curious to know how the Sunjoe is gonna handle each one. So in today's video, I'm gonna set it up, and then we're gonna do some mulching. So let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna just put the camera, set the camera up where you guys can see, and I'm gonna get started. So what I did was I already took them out of the wrapper just for time's sake. So we have the wheels here, the wheel covers, and then these are what's gonna hold up the wheels and the chipper. This is the wheel axle. So the very first step is you're gonna, oh, where are my directions? Okay, so I already looked at the first few steps. Step one is basically making sure the wheel fitting is together, and it already is. It came already with the wheel axle and the washer and the wheel nuts assembled. But if yours doesn't come like that, which it should, you know, you'll see the picture. But this is how the wheel axle looks. So the first step is going to add the wheel axle to the wheel support, to the two supporting legs. So here are what the legs look like. So this is going to go into the machine itself. So you want to make sure you get it in the right position. You want to make it look like this, almost bow-legged, where these two pieces that are going to be in the machine are pointing towards each other. You don't want to do it this way. If you do it this way, they're not going to fit into the machine. Okay? They're not going to fit into the mulcher. So make sure these two parts here are pointing into each other. Right? So now we're going to attach the wheel axle. This is where the wheels are going to go on. We're going to attach it to this. So that's step two. All right, so I'm just taking off the nut and the washer, and it shows you're gonna put this in first, and then you're gonna put the washer, and then this part. Then let's do the same thing with the second leg, taking off the washer, the nuts, and we're gonna put this wheel on, this support on, washer next, then this part, they call it the shaft sleeve. So after I put my nut, my washer and my short shaft sleeve on each side, put the wheel on the wheel axle, secure with the wheel nut. So I'm gonna put the wheel on now. So this is the side that's gonna go to the outside, and this is the side that's gonna be pointing in. So I'm gonna put this on the shaft sleeve. Now I'm securing the wheel with the nut. Here's what it looks like. Tightening the nut. Make sure that the washer side is pointing in. And make sure it's really tight. I'm going to use a wrench after to tighten it, but just secure it that way. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. take the wheel, put that side in, then put your nut on, washer side pointed in, then you're going to tighten with a wrench after. And make sure when it's set up, you see the legs pointed in. Then you're all set. So I put this is the hex wrench, put this in the center hole to keep it steady while I'm gonna tighten the nuts. So I'm just tightening it by hand first, then I'm gonna go in with this. All right, so I'm tightening. All right, that one is tight. And then this one, tighten by hand first. This one, I'm turning it in the opposite direction. Actually tightens in the opposite direction. Oops. All right, so they're both very tight now. So the next step, step 4, is repeat. Okay, just repeat on the other one, which I already did both. So now step 5, stand, assembly fit in. So turn the shredder main body upside down and fix the standing assembly with wheels on the bottom of the main body with the 4 nuts. Tighten the nuts with the wrench. So I see the 4 nuts right here, so I have to flip this over. So let's move this here so I can, oh, and guys, we forgot to put the hubcaps on, so I'm gonna put the hubcaps on after. Actually, let me just do it now. So the hubcaps are pretty easy to put on. You're just gonna line it up and push it in so your wheels look nice and fancy. There you go. Make sure it's pushed in all the way around. Let's snap that on. Same thing here. There are 2 little holes. Just line the 2 holes up with the 2 holes here and snap it in. Make sure you snap it in all the way around. All right, so the wheel assembly is done. So the next step is to flip this over and assemble this in. So let's do that. All right, so I flipped it over onto the bottom, and it says we have to secure the wheels onto the bottom. So the back of this has 4 holes, and that has 4 bolts sticking up. So I'm going to attach these 4 to these 4. Let's do that. So far, pretty simple. Pretty simple. It's only not taking me long at all to get this done. And I am not a very handy person. I'm learning to be more handy though. All right, so it's simple as that. So now we're going to take the 4 nuts and secure it. It's been sitting in my garage for the past several weeks because I thought it was going to be more complicated. So you're gonna screw it in, the nuts in, with the silver side pointing in. This side has like a black washer that stops it. So silver side pointing in. I think we're almost done. We can make sure all the nuts are tight before we flip it over. It's ready to use now. Just have to tighten these nuts. This was definitely very easy. I don't think it took me even 15 minutes. I'll see when I look at the recording. Make sure that the nuts are all the way in. It should look like this when you're done. You should see the bolt protruding above the nut, and make sure you turn it until it can't turn anymore. This is a big piece of equipment, you know, it's heavy. This part probably took me the longest getting these tightened up, but I'm not taking any shortcuts. I want to make sure that this is done properly. So once you're tightening it up, you're done and you're ready to use your mulcher. Yeah, this definitely is taking the longest time, but it's definitely a step worth taking. Should be very, very firm. You shouldn't feel any wiggling. If you feel any wiggling, or if you don't see it all the way down where the nut is sticking up, you're not doing it right. So make sure you turn till it cannot turn anymore. All right, I'm done. Let's flip it over. Let's flip it over. If it's done right, it should be firm and I should be good. Let's see. Oh, it's heavy. It's not too heavy. All right. All right. Yay. It's good. It's good. Now we can plug it in and use it. That's the handle. This is where your branches go. I'll have to go look at the directions to see, but as long as it's wide enough, this wide, I think that's like 2 inches, you can get it in. And this is what it looks like. The on and off button. What is this? Circuit breaker. Let me read the instructions on how to use it. All right, so this is the electric source and it had this attached to it. It says you have to use the correct extension cord. Use only a UL, CSA, or ETL rated extension cord for outdoor use. And it has to look like this with the 3 plugs. So we have this and have to get an extension cord. Another thing is it comes with a bag. This is a collection bag. And there are hooks on either side that you hook it into. So let's go ahead and hook this on. And that's where the chips are gonna fall into. It's a pretty good size bag. And also, and if the wood gets stuck, you just use this to push it down. This is a paddle. All right, so we're set and we're ready to go. So it's pretty easy. You just tilt it, hold it with the arm, and let's go outside and test this baby out. All right, so I have my plug, my cord. Make sure it's the plug that has this, and make sure it meets the requirements. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into the wall. Okay, I'm supposed to secure the extension cord in this, and it says thread it through here. So this keeps the extension cord out of the way and keeps it from disconnecting during operation. See, just do this to secure the extension cord. So I plugged it in here, and I have my bag attached, my collection bag attached to these little green hooks. Attach it on either side. Yep, and it should be good to go. Make sure that it's open to catch the mulch, and then let's get started. So I already went into the chicken run area. My cord isn't long enough to go all the way over there, but I went to the chicken run area and I got some wood. I mean, some of the Mexican sunflower, some green pieces and some dried pieces, and I got some of the cotton candy tree. So let's try our first piece. I'm gonna start off with a cotton candy tree. I heard it's very good. It's better when it's dry. And these are, I just cut it today, but for some reason the tree just died. I didn't see any disease on it. It literally just dried up. So I'm gonna mulch some of this. Normally, if something is sick, like a plant is sick, I will not use it as mulch. But I didn't see any indication that anything was wrong with the tree. It just died, and this is just the sticks, not the leaves. So to use it, it says put the forward button in the forward position. So I press the forward position. You see it says forward and reverse. So I just pressed the forward side, and then it said when you press start, it should start. Yep, that works. So let's put some wood in. And guys, I have my safety goggles on. I have my hat. It said make sure you have on gloves, make sure you have on proper footwear, make sure you have your safety goggles on. And it said earplugs. I don't think it's long enough for me to need earplugs. I listen to loud music, so I think I'm good. So, but if you have sensitive ears, wear your earplugs. So I'm gonna see if my husband will hold it for me, the camera, for a minute, so I can show you guys exactly how it goes in. I want to use 2 hands since it's my first time. I don't want to mess anything up. So I have it in the forward section, and I'm gonna press start and just feed it through. Use the paddle. All right, that was pretty cool. So let's try a piece of Mexican sunflower that's green, and let's try one that is dry. So this one is a lot thicker. This is a dry one. Let's see how this does. Woo. Wow, it did good. All right, let's see what we have. All right, so it looks like it chopped up everything. So here's what it looks like. So it's not really completely, it doesn't look like store-bought mulch, but I think it did a pretty good job. I can use this and spread on the trees. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish chopping things up, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right guys, I just had to relocate for the 3rd time. So I'm gonna be mulching up this pile of Mexican sunflower, dried and green. I also have a whole ton still over in the chicken run area, but I'm just gonna start off with this since it's my first time. I don't know, I don't want to bring it all out and not be able to mulch it up. So I have everything set up. I have everything set up. It's plugged in, ready to go. So let's see how long this takes me. So far, it definitely handles the dry branches better than the greener branches. With the greener branches, it chews it up, but then I noticed that they were like getting stuck on top. The pieces weren't going down, so I had to take a dry branch and kind of push it down. And then what I have to be sure of is like every few minutes or so, check to make sure it's not that the downspout isn't blocked. So I had to like turn it off first, then I pulled the pieces that were stuck up here. But so far, this is what it looks like. It's doing a pretty good job, especially with the dried stuff. You know, even with the green stuff, it's doing a really good job. This is going to be really great around the trees. The first set that I did, these were like more soft, very soft, and these didn't get mulched up totally, but it's all good. It's all gonna go around my trees and in my compost anyway. So this is gonna help my compost break down a whole lot faster than just putting the whole branches in. So I'm happy so far. What I also noticed for the dry branches, if it has a side shoots like this, you have to break them off. Some of them, if it's very brittle, it will break, but if it's a little bit hard, you have to break it off or it won't go through. And of course, anything that's thicker than the width of the opening will not go in. So you have to stick to the size of the opening. Anything within that size will basically get chewed up. The cotton candy tree that had these, you know, skinny branches and had the side shoots, those went in very easily. No matter how big the branch is, it just kind of chewed those up. So if the side shoots are small like this and dry, it's gonna chew it up pretty easily. Let me show you. Well guys, it's my first time owning a mulcher, but I would say for a backyard gardener, this meets my needs. I put a link to it in my Amazon store, so there's a link to my Amazon store below. If you guys are interested, you can use my link and you can get the mulcher. If you guys have another mulcher that you think that is better, let us know also. But this is my first time, as I said, and this is definitely better than just having piles of wood around my garden. This will actually break down a lot easier, a lot quicker, and feed my soil. So it's all good. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, bye now.